This feels weird. Okay.
It's been a while. Hello everybody, I'm Anna.
And I'm Isha.
And we're the two mythical unicorns. And today we're doing the
Contradictions book tag.
Yeah, exactly. And we will leave a link to the original down below. So you can go watch that if you want to. Get right into it.
Right.
First one. I love this genre, but I didn't like this book.
Magical realism is the genre.
Yeah.
The book is called Earthlings by Sayaka Murata, Japanese author. I think it might be an expectations problem. Also, I'm not entirely certain this should be classified as magical realism. So this freaked me the hell out.
Yeah.
On a very deep level. I did finish it though.
Well, that is impressive. That is very, very impressive.
The worst part came in the last couple of pages. I would imagine it's well written, so I would read other books by this author, but I would check the warnings possibly first.
Yeah, for me, the genre is YA fantasy. And The Bone Witch by Rin Shupeko.
Alright.
Not sure how to pronounce that. I listened to it on audiobook. And I mean, it had so much potential. But just the pacing and the different storylines, and I think I finished it. But I don't know how it ended. I just got so confused, and I don't know if it was a concentration problem. But I don't think so, because I've heard others say they weren't that impressed by the book. Number 2. I rarely read this genre, but I love this book.
I've read possibly 2 books within this whole genre in general. Science fiction. I don't. I was never a science fiction person.
No.
However, Intentional Dissonance by E.N.S. Thomas was incredible. It's about a world where, you know, the world ended 10 years ago. Which is the sci-fi aspect, essentially.
Yeah.
And you just follow a man who's like, what do I do now? And it's very good. And it's very well written. It's also very short, which is always a plus in my book.
Yeah. I was also thinking about going sci-fi, but I have read a few now. So I've read less old classics. I haven't read too many of those. So I went with Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
And that's also a bit science fiction.
Yeah.
For its time.
Yeah,
And
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And a bit horror. And I don't read too much of that either. So it just worked on so many levels.
Yeah.
Number 3. I love this trope, but I didn't like this book.
I had a hard time with this.
Yeah.
Partly, I don't think about what tropes are in books most of the time.
Yeah, me neither.
It's not something that I consider. However, the one trope that I'll always be weak for is found family. And I don't know if this is a cop-out answer. City of Bones.
Yep.
Because I would consider this kind of found family.
Yeah.
I guess. They sort of make up a family in their own. I don't know how I got through the first book. I read this book and then never looked back.
Yeah. You really liked it at first.
Yeah.
And then you got really mad.
Got really angry and then I rage quit.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. It was a bad weekend.
Yeah. I went with The Reluctant Hero and Lifelike by J. Christoph. I really enjoyed this book until like the last few chapters where it all took a turn for the worse. I did buy the second book because I thought maybe he saves it. I have not read it.
No.
So yeah.
Mm.
Number 4. I hate this trope, but I like this book.
And that's the thing. I'm not sure what exactly is a trope, but the bad boy who falls for the good girl, I find it's too predictable most of the time. It's like, and he somehow makes a 180 and changes in there, and I'm like, no. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. However, Howl's Moving Castle does this very well because he doesn't do a 180. He does change. He becomes mildly better, but that's mildly. And he's more of like a suave, egotistical character rather than like the bad boy character. It's not exactly that, but it is that trope, just used in a better way.
I went with the love triangle. Because, no. But then we have this trilogy. And it just takes love triangles to a different level. Because it's a love triangle, obviously 3 people, but then there are multiple universes with multiple versions of them. But yeah, it's a good trilogy. It does it very well. Just a whole other level of love triangle. Number 5. I love this author, but I didn't like this book.
Every other book by this author that I have read, I have loved. And then he was like, I'm doing fantasy. And I was like, yay! And then nothing much happened after that. I read about 25, 30 pages. And now Anna owns the book.
Yay.
This is Adam Silvera, Infinity Sun. And I could not. I could not deal.
I liked it.
Yeah, which is why Anna now owns it.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I've got the second one too.
Yes.
I went with Leon Uris, maybe you pronounce it. I read Mila 18 by him and I absolutely loved the books. And then I tried reading this and I'm very good at finishing books.
Yeah.
Even if I don't really like them, I usually finish them, and this one I did not finish. I did not even get halfway through. And I still have it in my bookshelf. I don't know why, but I do. Number 6. I previously disliked a book by this author, but I love this book.
I actually have difficulty with this because books that I don't enjoy
Yeah.
and they're like, bye! And I don't remember them anymore. However, Jonathan Safran Foer's debut novel, Everything is Illuminated, I read first, and I think I was influenced by a friend who was like, it's terrible. I haven't reread it since. And I was like, And then I read Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, and that is still one of my favorite books of all time. So that's that, I guess.
I went with Good Omens by Neil Gaiman is the important part here.
Yeah.
And Terry Pratchett. Because yeah, I've tried Neil Gaiman and he freaks me the hell out. I read The Ocean at the End of the Lane and I had nightmares afterwards. Don't do well with that. But this one I really liked.
Yeah.
Number 7. I love this cover, but I didn't like this book.
Oh, I love the cover, I didn't love this book. That means I don't have the book anymore. I was like, no, that didn't make sense for the last book I have. And this is kind of funny because it is a cover by The End We Start From by Megan Hunter, which I bought in our judging books by their covers video. Like, what, 2 years ago now? Maybe 1? I don't know. It's been a while.
I would say 3.
Oh, maybe it's longer. Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I loved the cover. It's gorgeous. I could not stand the book.
I went with Circe by Madeline Miller. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful.
It's so pretty and shiny. And so boring. It's so slow paced and nothing happens. I've heard other people enjoy it very much.
I've heard you have to get quite a bit through before it like sort of gets going.
Yeah, well, I got 3/4. I feel like if nothing has happened by then.
Fair.
So this is another one that I actually haven't finished. But this one I keep with the intention that one day I will finish. But I realize now that
You won't.
no, I won't. I won't.
No.
But it's so pretty. And maybe I can give it to someone who will enjoy it.
I want to read her other book.
Don't know what that is.
I won't remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen. I want to read this one. The Song of Achilles.
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay. So the last one, number 8. I don't like this cover, but I love this book.
It's not the worst cover in the world. However, it's not that good either. There is another cover of this book that I think I prefer, but I found this on Tradera for 10 kronor. And I was like, yeah, I can replace it later if I like it. So that's probably what's gonna happen. It's like, I'm gonna replace it because I'm not a fan of this cover in particular. I think it's the orange text.
Yeah, it's not bad,
No,
but it's very meh.
the beauty of this book is not matched by its cover.
Okay. I went with Written in Red by Anne Bishop, and the entire series looks like this.
It's bad.
It's so bad, and it. If I saw this today, I would not pick it up. I don't know how I picked this up to start with.
I don't either.
Because
it's bad.
It's so bad. I don't remember if it was recommended or if I started reading about it somewhere and then was like, well, yeah, it's ugly, but I want to read it. Because this is one of the worst covers ever.
It's so bad.
But the book is freaking awesome. In my opinion, I know you didn't read it.
I tried.
Yeah.
I read like a couple of chapters.
Yeah. It's freaking great. Yeah. That was it. That was the
Contradictions book tag.
Exactly that. It was too hard to say. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.
Bye.